T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
You are now tapped into the coolest reptile podcast in the world. Welcome to Sunday's Holy Gecko Sessions on the Trap Talk Reptile Podcast. I'm your boy, MJ. If this is your first time tapping in, what is good? Hi. Do your boy a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell. That way you're on top of every single podcast I drop here on this YouTube channel. Thank you for all the subscribers. I appreciate all the love and support. This is all about the reptiles. Or even animals, you know, just depends. But if you're into reptiles, keeping, loving, or admiring, maybe you want to become a breeder someday, or just want to know what the things you should do and not do when it comes to either keeping or whatever we're talking about with reptiles, this is the right place to be. You're in a good place, okay? Because I only bring the best of the best to this channel, even the up and coming, only the best up and coming too. All right, most relevant reptile, coolest reptile podcast in the world. So thank you for being here. Now, listen, if you're looking for exclusive content, if you want to get more deeper behind the scenes of Trap Talk, and if you want to meet the Trap family, the Trap Patreon family, then go down to the very first link you see below and join the Trap Talk Patreon family. As soon as you join the Patreon family, you get a link to the Discord, and that will tap you in with over 160 trappers who are all about keeping reptiles and all a bunch of other cool shit. Listen, the Discord is next level. It's 24/7 popping, and there's just so many different things to be discussed on so many different channels. It's not only just reptiles, but everything, man. Just anything that has to do with life goes down in the Trap Talk Patreon Discord. Trap Fest coming up, man. I'm going to be giving a lot of details in the Patreon family about Trap Fest 2023. I'm very excited. It's going down July 6th. Trap Fest is an event I throw just for my Patreon members, and I invite some next level celebrity breeders to the event, and it's fun. There's parties and activities, and we make fun of Calvin, and it's just a really good time. You can't miss it. So anyways, my Patreon members, I love you guys so much. Thank you for all your love and support. I really go hard for you guys, and you guys go hard for me. So that's what it's all about. I love my Patreon family. I'll see you guys at the top. I do guys say before we dip into things, tonight's episode is brought to you by my boy Doug over at Ridiculous RHACS. Seriously, one of the sickest, if not the sickest, lychee breeder in the game. I feel like really leading by example on so many different levels. But head over to Instagram. Check him out. Doug from Ridiculous RHACS also works with other really cool gecko species as well. Go see what he's all about. Let him know MJ sent you. I also want to say that this episode is brought to you also by the Reptarium. Okay, #1 reptile zoo in the country. Telling you right now, nothing beats the Reptarium if it talks about you going to seeing any kind of reptile you could possibly see in this country, other than venomous. But I'm okay with that. I'm scared of venomous. This girl we're about to talk to is not scared of venomous. That's for damn sure. Anyways, she's very player, and she works at the Reptarium. She works at BHB. Jessica Saunders is very rooted with the legacy of Barcheck, period. And I cannot wait to talk about many awesome things that Jessica Saunders has done, not only at BHB and at Reptarium, but just for the industry. You know, she's an inspiring person for a lot of females and also male keepers like myself. So this episode, I've had her on before, but this is for I really going to dive deep on what she's been doing with all the gecko species that she has been working with. There's literally a room that she's basically just gone nuts in. So it's going to be an awesome episode. I'm telling you right now, especially if you want to learn more about these gecko species that's really popping off over at the Reptarium. This is going to be a good episode. So anyways, guys, follow me on the Instagram, Trap Talk God 619. Also follow the podcast's Instagram page as well, Trap Talk Reptile Podcast. What's up with Facebook? If you're on Facebook, drop me a like or something. Jeez, just kidding. Seriously, though, if you're on Facebook, like my page, Trap Talk Reptile Podcast. Follow me there. And then you can also follow my exotics page as well, Trap Exotics. Go to my YouTube channel, the Trap Exotics on YouTube. I'm sorry, the Trap Vlogs on YouTube. I'm not making an excuse, but the only reason why I didn't drop a vlog this week is because I am making an excuse. But I did do a live with Jeremy. Make sure you catch that live with Jeremy. It really touched on the whole FWC, MERS. Really fucked up. Really, really fucked up. Anyways, I got Jeremy on the show. We talked about it and really brought some stuff to the table. So make sure you check out that episode. But really, yeah, Friday was a little busy for me, guys. So anyways, I will make sure I put out a vlog this coming week. And that's a fact. Thank you for supporting me. And you guys are awesome. Who's here? Who's ready to hear from Jessica? I know I am. Amanda Johnson, one of the newest Trap Talk Patreon members to join the family. AJ's Wicked Balls. What's up, Amanda? Thanks for tapping in. Big homie Ro 5.0 in the building. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Big homie Wes in the building. Sunshine State Sulfurs. Bluntman Reptiles in the building. How the Trap Productions doing, buddy? Good to see you. Trap Talk Patreon member. All my Patreon members are tapping in. I love it. The homie Josh Silver Cash in the building. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. JKJ Reptiles also sitting on some awesome trap heat that he picked up for me this year. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Appreciate you. The homie Jordan from Heartland Reptiles. Trap Talk Patreon member. Go check him out. Working on some really cool next level type enclosures. Aluminum, huh, buddy? I'm curious to see how that works. Hopefully you could tap in at the after party on tonight's show and tell us a little bit more with your enclosures, because I'm curious. I think that's epic that you're doing that. Josh, JK Reptiles Lab, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. The homie Zach, NW Herpetological in the building. Thank you for being here. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. The homie Levi, Sex and Flexing all day, every day. Or it's Chris, either one. More likely Levi, just a guess. The homie Wise Guy, forget about it. Thanks for tapping in. The homie from Sweden, Eclipse in the building. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Aurora Exotics in the building. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Clistia? Is that how you say that? Clistia. I like that name. I hope I'm saying it right. And definitely, guys, when we have Mrs. Saunders tapping in with us, we're all gonna wish her a happy belated birthday, because she just turned 21, and this is a serious birthday for her. So we all got to give it up for her when we see her. Okay, so definitely happy belated birthday. Thank you for being here. Roberta in the building. What's up, Roberta? Thanks for tapping in. KT in the building. What's up, KT? Thanks for tapping in. Brandon Hernandez. What's up, player? I haven't seen you in a minute. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Appreciate you so much. Ryan's Exotics in the building. What's up? Thanks for tapping in. D&K Reptiles in the building. What is up? Thanks for Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Appreciate you, Doug. Justin Campbell in the building. Trap Talk Patreon member. We're going to end this in style with Justin Campbell. All right, guys. Let's get this show on the road, because it's Sunday, and I like Sunday because I learn a lot more than what I typically know. Reptiles teach you a lot. Tonight, we're going to learn from one of the best doing it, one of the youngest, Jessica Saunders of BHB Reptiles and the Reptarium. Guys, this is episode 329, and let's give it up for her, because it's going down right now. Good. You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasters?
Yes.
Man.
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes,
Exclusive. Oh.
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it. Do it.
It's your birthday, girl. Oh, shoot. What's up, Jessica?
Not much.
Just got done cleaning in here.
Happy belated. Your birthday was just yesterday or 2 days ago?
It was actually on Friday.
Friday.
But I celebrated yesterday, so it was kind of yesterday.
Well, I'm happy I get to get you right after your birthday, which I'm sure you had a great time with your husband, Bruce, which I miss dearly. Make sure you give Bruce a hug for me. But listen, I'm so glad you're back on my show for the round 2. Guys, Jessica has been... Okay, listen, I definitely underestimated how long you've been at BHB. I know you've been there for a while, but, you know, due to what's, you know, due to the circumstances right now with Brian and whatnot, I have, it's weird because I do watch his stuff every morning, like religion now. Like I just happen to, because he's, you know, and so I'm getting a lot of his old videos, like stuff from like 5-6 years ago. And trust me, you're in them a lot. You're in a lot of them. And I'm like, I looked at the date. I'm like, dude, Jessica goes way back. And I kind of want to make sure I know exact dates when you actually got hired over at BHB. Maybe you said it and I forgot, but how long has it been now?
So it'll be 9 years in September this year. I started working there in 2014. It's crazy, huh?
Oh my gosh. So 2014, and you know, and the duties, I mean, I'm sure you've had a lot of different positions, or is it mainly just caretaking?
Weirdly enough, it's been caretaking the whole time, but I've been doing geckos almost since the beginning, since like 2 months in. I started like with colubrids. I was like the assistant for the colubrid person. Someone quit on geckos and I got moved over to them, and been doing it ever since.
Wow. And was that something that just went in like to your lap after getting hired, or were you like, hey, listen, I love geckos, put me in charge of that? I'm curious.
No, it was definitely sort of something that just fell in my lap. I've definitely loved reptiles pretty much my whole life. I kept like snakes, frogs, you know, lizards, turtles, like all of that when I was growing up.
Right.
But I forgot where I was going with that.
As far as like,
no, I didn't like leopard geckos when I first started though.
Okay.
I kind of just got moved over to them because, like I said, someone quit and they needed someone to take care of them. I love all animals, but I kind of thought they were ugly looking, to be honest with you.
Yeah, weird tales.
My mind's definitely changed
in
the years since then, but
was it the leopard gecko that kind of was the gateway for you? Like, even though it was something you didn't like, it ended up being the one you ended up liking the most in the beginning, or?
Pretty much. I think before that, like when I was young, like I said, I've kept lots of different things. I didn't keep a lot of geckos. I think maybe I had one crested gecko in the past.
Okay.
But other than that, it was all snakes. So yeah. Leopard geckos.
No, finish. Leopard gecko. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I love them now. They're so diverse with the colorations and everything. But yeah, definitely when I was getting into like starting at BHB, that's definitely not where I thought I was gonna go with my career. I didn't even really, honestly, at that point, probably think that this was going to be a career.
I mean, because it's really not for a lot of people. Understand that, like, people love working with animals, but like you got to love them like they're your own first and foremost. And if you don't, you're not going to really have a good time, you know? And I see every time I see you working in there, Jessica, you're carrying them like they're, and they are yours in a sense. You wake up, care for them, which is crazy because a lot of people that in your position don't really have animals at home because they already wake up and go home. They already wake up and take care of a bunch of animals every day. But you guys definitely got animals at home still. We
do. It's mostly, honestly though, it's mostly Bruce's stuff. My stuff, I had a good amount of geckos and stuff at home for a while, but then kind of like you're saying, I kind of realized I don't want to go home and I only have work basically. So most of my stuff has been integrated into the collection here.
His stuff is your stuff. It don't matter. So,
yeah.
If he's not around, as far as like in town or something, you're taking care of it. So
that's true, yeah. Or like right now where he's got a busted arm, so I've got to help out.
Bruce. Listen, that's one thing I can really relate to Bruce is his injuries, you know, like, oh my, he's just accident prone. Like I'm accident prone. If I'm out and about, this is why I don't have a street bike for sure. It would just be an automatic thing at some point. And as he probably already knows, that asphalt's very unforgiving. Does not like, once you hit that, You'll never forget it. So anyways, wishing you a speedy recovery, Bruce. Jeez, I know that collarbone is no joke. But I'm curious with you, Jessica, as far as when did things kind of start elevating a little bit with the breeding side of things? Because right now you're very hands-on breeding projects. Like before we kind of dip into what the room you're sitting in right now, did Brian kind of, or anyone as far as at BHB or even at the Reptarium kind of give you the grasp of breeding and in certain of these projects, or is that something you grasped on your own and just kind of related to Brian as far as information you're learning? I'm curious.
A little bit of both, I would say. I definitely think I come by the interest in breeding because I have an interest in genetics. Before I started working at BHB, I was going to school for medical technology, so I was going to go into the medical field. And it just didn't. It ended up being something that I realized I wasn't going to love doing it. So I just decided to go in a different direction. But yeah, I think my interest in breeding comes from interest in genetics and like creating different things, different colors, different patterns, all that stuff. But yeah, I think when I started working here and saw like everything going on, it definitely did spark it a lot more though. And definitely Brian's been a huge like mentor for me. Like, I didn't breed anything before I worked here. So like everything that, where I started, it comes from him. He definitely taught me a lot in the beginning and still does teach me a lot of stuff. Like, I just started breeding the snakes and stuff in the basement, some of like the pythons and all that. And so he's very involved with that with me, teaching me about that. But yeah.
Wait, rewind. You're breeding snakes in the basement.
Yeah, not the ball pythons, but like I am working with like I don't know if you saw that we got a couple of clutches of viper boas. I breed those. I do the
what? Dude, viper boas? Wait, hold on. Okay, you know a lot of people fail at that. Like the viper boas are difficult. And hold on. Okay, let's talk about the viper boas real quick. How much hands-on have you had on with that project? Was it something that Brian showed you, hey, look, we got babies, or did you kind of see the whole process and wait the 9 months after ovulation and all that other stuff?
So basically, I honestly, it was sort of an accident, and we got 2 clutches sort of by accident. He told me like, just go ahead and start putting the male through.
Right.
So I did that and everything, and I was like, okay, some of these look like really chunky,
right,
and stuff like that. And yeah, honestly, like I said, that was sort of an accident that we got those. But
okay, no, it's still, everything's an accident. That doesn't matter. How many days were you leaving the males with the females for?
Just like a couple nights. So I'd switch like Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
And just going down.
Sometimes that would be a couple days, sometimes one day.
Wow. Okay. And honestly, I've talked to people who've gotten as far as getting babies, like Miguel. Miguel's gotten babies, right? But the babies are really, so hard to start. They're really, really hard to establish. Like even my buddy Elijah, I think Elijah had 19 and they all died. You know what I mean? And so super difficult. Have you actually gotten them established?
So I actually am not the one that takes care of the babies, but we have gotten a couple of them to eat. I want to say the little reptilinks, the frog stuff.
Ooh. So
if anyone out there wants to try that, you can. I think we've also gotten some success on a Knowles.
So I would say a Knowles. So the reptilinks are that tiny? I mean, because the viper boas
the ones that are like frog legs, they do come pretty small. So those we've also had pretty good luck with. Like if you have trouble with hog noses eating, they like those too.
I mean, this is like if it's any kind of advice I've gotten from someone who I respect in the game on a level of, having so many years under their belt, this person told me that you can never not have anything in the freezer. Like you should have everything prepared to offer something that's not eating. One thing I don't,
you just gotta keep trying different stuff.
You just never know. Like one thing could turn the corner. You know what I mean? I've not had, just because I've heard how nasty those reptiles could get, like the bigger ones, when they squeeze them out and shit. But I would think these tiny, because here's the thing, I'm looking to turn the corner at some point with these chondros and breeding and establishing the babies. I could get babies, but I have problems with the babies, and I know what it is. I don't know what it is. That's a lie. But having that source of diversity in the freezer And especially in Knowles, if you could get a Knowles, I mean, how do you guys get a Knowles?
We actually bought just a big group of them, I think from maybe like Underground or something, but like they're breeding now. So we get little tiny babies, and those go to like the corn snakes or anything that's too small to eat like a bigger one.
I mean,
But yeah, we're breeding them.
You think the biggest problem people have with the baby green tree python is getting it to eat, because we're trying to feed it a pinky, right? And it's
exactly,
pinky is just a piece of blood and some skin. There's no bone or anything, and also that's nothing they even eat in the wild. What they eat in the wild are these
I always think about that as like we're trying to feed everything rodents, and like not everything would eat rodents in the wild. Like they would be eating frogs, lizards, maybe like ducks, chickens, stuff like that.
It's like we're just literally forcing McDonald's down these goddamn reptiles' gut every single.
That's probably why we see so much fatty liver disease and captivity as well.
Or simply just look at the longevity of the life. Like snakes dying around 10 to 12 years old is not normal.
No, they should live much longer than that.
Wait, 20, 25, 30 years. So anyways, my eyes definitely opened up to that going into this year. Like, luckily I have, I was blessed enough to get a sponsor who breeds quails, and I'm going to be, I'm not going to just switch everything over, but I'm going to do a little bit of both. Like at least have a diversity. Like, I love steak, but chicken don't hurt every now and then. You know what I mean?
I mean, like we can't eat the same thing every day. Like we wouldn't be healthy if we did that. So why do we think that about our animals?
I've been at a point in my life where I felt like I could eat McDonald's every day. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's not.
Well, you wouldn't be healthy.
It's not a good place. Like, hello, there's Americans that are like that. That's like the problem. Like, there's people who live at fast food places, and and there's also like what's crazy, and this is like I was raised off fast food, and I'm not saying pure fast food, but like the way my dad got me and my sisters happy is he would say, let's go to McDonald's, or he would say, let's go to Jack in the Box, and we would be fucking super stoked because really we're eating my mom's food. No disrespect, mom, but we're eating like my mom's like vegetables, and like we have to eat healthy, right? And my dad was like, so but also like, as I got older and on my own, like obviously if I wanted to, I could eat McDonald's every single day. And there was times where I felt like I could get away with that, but no, dude, like your body rejects it after a while. Like there's like, and think about a snake too. Like imagine if we had no other choice but to eat this McDonald's every day, that rejection turns into something that's going to go bad. Like that's the way I look at it. Like if I'm feeling some sort of pain and I have to switch it up, imagine there's no switch and they just keep eating like shit like this. And it's just all that fat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of eye-opening. Yeah. All right, so back to the geckos here, because you're sitting in a room that's quite impressive. I've been into that room where there was caging but no substrate, or like, man, I think I've even been there where it was just free.
You've been in like I think at every stage of it.
Yeah. I've been in that room in every stage, and just seeing you kind of walk me through it every time I'm there is like, holy shit. But I got to tell you now it's like, wow, you got eggs that are in the center of the room and just everything's filled. So when did this project land on your lap? And was this like soon after the podcast room got together, or was it before that? I'm curious.
So actually, we've been talking about this room probably way before the podcast room, probably shortly after we started getting like the new cows, which I think, so we got a lychee, I think in like 2016, 2017, just one lychee.
Right.
And then I think a year later, someone offered Brian like a trio of gargoyles. And I had already had, like I was telling you, I combined my group with the group here. I had already had some. So I was like, yeah, let's get these, please.
Wow.
But yeah, I think shortly after we got that trio is when we started talking about we're going to need like a space that they can go that's not just like a corner of BHB. And it was actually Brian's idea to make it like all this like nice caging and everything. I had planned on having it just like rolling racks and like big tubs, basically, just for ease of breeding. But this looks much better. It's not as easy to breed in here, I will tell you that, though.
Yeah, but that's what makes that room what it is. Like it's, you're full blown on bioactive and everything, which is awesome. Which we'll talk about that here in just a second. But God damn, Jessica, if you look at it like this, I always say one thing I love about what we do is the universe just kind of puts things in your favor, not in your favor, but in your lap, right? Like regardless where life takes you, you have all that journey and experience under your belt that you like look around you. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, yeah.
That's so impressive. Okay. But first and foremost, like you're living a dreamy day-to-day life. Because obviously these are all visionary things in your head. And it kind of just makes life have a purpose. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know, people have a job, people make good money, but they don't have a purpose sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, at least you say that your job has a purpose, you know, like this is on a win-win situation, win-win for Brian and also for yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I think so.
I think it's awesome. Now let's talk about well, you know, I got to say, I love all the gecko species. Okay.
Mhm.
Leeches are my favorite.
Okay.
Just because they're big and they're just like very prehistoric. Anything prehistoric, and honestly, that's why I like all the geckos because they're all prehistoric looking, right? But the leeches are they just got me right. What are some of the projects you guys are working? First and foremost, with leeches, are they locality and I should know this because I've had enough gecko breeders on, but there are morphs in leeches, correct? Or is it just localities?
There are like some morphs. There's like a dark morph, and then there are some color projects out there for sure. There's like the raspberry color project, the dark mall project.
Right.
They're basically like polygenic projects though. Sort of like the crested geckos used to be all that, but now they're starting to go, oh, these are codon and that and that. But as far as like projects that I'm excited about, we have a pair of F2, I think they're Nuami lychees. They're either Nuami or Nuana.
Huh.
And they're really beautiful. They're very large for island locales, and they've got like this really pretty silvery purpley gray like blotching on them. Really pretty.
I'm not gonna lie, I want to go grab my lychee, but I don't want to get bit right now. He's a dick. He's kind of a dick. It's been a while. He's been a while, but I mean, I just want some advice from you on where to take this project because he's a really cool looking male. My buddy Ari Flagel down in Texas bred him and sent him to me as a gift. And I'm just like, listen, I'm in it. I'm in the game. I just don't want to overdo it. And I want to make the right steps. I just don't know. Because from what I understand, the Nuami, am I saying that right? Nuami locality?
I think so. I might not be saying them right, to be honest with you. I read them, so.
Send me
it is a French-speaking country, I believe, so like French pronunciation.
These places come from where the French are from? That's crazy.
Well, it's a French
speaking place. Oh.
What you call it? Territory. French territory. Oh.
So, but I do know that some get bigger, but some get bigger than the others, right? Like some are like half your forearm and then some go full forearm, right?
Yeah.
But like, you know, like are there certain lychee localities or species of lychees you don't want to breed back into each other, or that doesn't matter? You could do whatever you want. That's what I'm curious.
So kind of a hot topic, like with a lot of geckos. So the island locales and the mainland locales, they're like separated into two different species. So technically, if you mix them, you're hybridizing. Some people don't like that. Some people don't care. So I would say that, what do you have? Do you know what locality it is? Because it's probably Nuami. I would probably try and find something that is also Nuami and just keep it here.
Right.
I
don't want to piss nobody off. You know what I mean? I did that already too much.
Honestly, though, like the pair that I have that produced the most last year is a mixed pair. They're both island locales. So one's like I think she's a Nuami, and then the male is a Bros Island. Actually, the female is a Nuami crossed with a Pine Island, and then the male is Bros Island. So it's like 3 localities mixed together that we produced. And honestly, I would still say that they're pretty desirable. They came out really beautiful.
Can you bust out your
based on preference?
Can you bust out your favorite lychee for us real quick?
Yeah.
Sorry, why not show and tell? She's in that beautiful room. We got to look at something cool. And then there's a lot of cool stuff in there. And if you've not had that VIP experience at the Reptarium, I would go check it out. Oh, wow, look at this. And go and break this down for us. What is
So this guy's a Gross Island. He's one of my favorites, not just because of how he looks, though, his personality. He's nice and chill. He would just sit here with me if I put him on my shoulder, probably. Let's see. He's not like yours, apparently.
Honestly, maybe I'm a dick. Maybe I'm not the one spending enough time with him because I don't really touch him a lot. But when I do, he's like, "Hey," and then he's like, and then he bites me.
It's probably not just you. They're pretty variable on the personality. Like, there's a couple in this room that I won't pull out either.
Okay, so it's kind of a day by day type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're more like pretty much all animals, like they have their own personality and their own temperament. But these guys tend to be like, you'll find more of them that have like a iffy temperament, if that makes sense. But don't want to be held.
Like, I love how some people are like, so like, oh my God, you could hold your chondro like that. I'm like, dude, all my chondros are like this. And they have the, perception that they're just mean. And a lot of that's just because they grow out of it. Like a lot of chondros, after they know what the deal is, if they're kept right, they have a, they slow down. And is that kind of like the case sometimes with these? Like they're young, maybe huffy and puffy while they're young. And then as they get older, out.
I think I could see that. Like sometimes the babies can be they're really flighty and they want to like chirp at you a lot and stuff. Does yours make noise at you?
I don't have any chirping. That'd be cool. No, but I haven't got any chirping or anything. It's just more like a hiss, and then I'm gonna bite you. That's kind of what goes down.
The one that's not very nice in here, he'll like growl at you and make little like honking noises. It's really funny.
I would love to see that. So okay, be my coach right now then. So basically, if I want to get a female for him, and I choose the locality or the whatever kind I want to get, how do you introduce them? Like what's in your case when it comes to how, like, okay, so this is a good point, right? You went ahead and merged your gargoyle geckos with yours, with Brian's, right? So you have these like unrelated, completely separate type projects. So when it comes to introducing, especially if it's like you have a male that's older and then a female that's younger, I mean, how do you really look at introductory when it comes to the geckos? I'm curious.
So with leeches, they're a little bit more complex, I feel like, than the other newtails. So like you're saying, if you wanted to get a female, your best bet, like, is yours an adult? I would try and find an adult if yours is an adult already.
He's not yet. He's like a sub, I think. He's a sub adult.
Okay. I would try to find something that's close-ish in size just because they take so long to grow out and everything. Let me put him up really quick.
Or if I really wanted to, I could just get a female and just wait a long time too. Like, because I'm not in a rush either. If I find the right girl, I just want to do it at a mature point, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what you're waiting for. And honestly, I found that if you wait until they lay slugs is going to be your best bet to tell that they are sexually mature. I still have the original Nietzsche we bought, Big Bertha, the one from 2017. She still never has laid any eggs and still never produced. So it just happens sometimes.
I have a question, because one of the things I fear the most and I respect when keeping monitors, and this is kind of the same thing, is like, obviously you have a female who's not probably even breeding, but she's at a point where she could cycle and drop eggs, right? Now, with the laces in particular, or even with the tree monitors, if they don't have proper nesting or the proper environment to lay nests, like they could go egg bound. There could be a lot of terrible things that could go down. Is that the same thing with the geckos?
I don't think geckos have as much of a problem with that. Like they could still get egg bound. I haven't really dealt with it in any of the newcal species. I've seen it a few times with the leopard geckos. And I think that's more just based on the female itself, not based on like environment.
Right.
But in here, yeah, like it doesn't necessarily, it usually isn't a problem. I have seen once or twice just like following people that they will have to like go take their animal to a vet and get everything taken out just because they're producing multiple sets of eggs and not passing them. So, but that's pretty rare, I think. I've only seen that a few times.
Yeah, I mean, because that's why. I mean, I love my lace monitors and my tree monitors, but especially the lace monitors because I raised them up since they're babies. And I just, I visited a facility, Brian Waterloo. I don't know if you know him, but his facility has nothing but monitors in it. And it's as impressive as it is walking through it, everything, he's told me so many effed up stories. And I think he's lost 3 females this year. You know what I mean? And I'm just like,
God.
yeah, it's very terrifying. Yeah, I know.
So the bigger problem I think with leechies though is they won't get along sometimes. So I have had, or you have to watch too a lot of times with prolapsing, because I did lose a male this year to a prolapse because like I just wasn't here one day, so I didn't catch it in time.
I don't want to get off topic here, but you know, you gotta know this is a factual thing right here, Jessica, you know, because there's been a lot of new keepers that's come into this industry within the last, let's just say 2 years. Within the last 2 years, there's been a whole group. Okay. But people want to just hurry up and like kind of like speed things up. And there's so many problems with that because, you know, you can't speed up any of this process because there's so many things that can happen, right? And you're going to learn something no matter what. Like you would say throughout the whole time you've been doing this, you feel like every year it's something new that you grasp and kind of learn. You would feel like, right?
For sure.
Major.
Like all the time, like more than you learn stuff all the time when you're doing this type of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like the very first clutch I had, even before ball python, you know, and mind you, ball python stuff is what really got me going and helped me out financially. But even before then, I got because I was getting a lot of imports, I got an imported sarong, who's actually still here. She's right here, and she was she was an adult, and I had a male. I paired him up, and sure enough, she ovulated, and I was like, holy shit, you know, I couldn't believe it. And then she just laid eggs everywhere. Like I remember she didn't even do a prelay shed, which I guess that's very rare that happens, but sometimes some snakes won't, or in the chondros won't do a prelay shed. They'll just lay eggs after 2 weeks, which is nuts.
Yeah,
so
that's so crazy.
I was like waiting for a shed, and then I come in and boom, I see eggs, right? But you know, we're talking leading from that moment to where last year I actually got 3 of these goddamn things to come out the egg and actually eat for me. Everything was going well, and I'm thinking, man, after what I've been through, finally these things are going to make it. Guess what happened to each and every single one of those?
What?
They prolapsed. But
no.
I'm talking after like, the first one that passed, I'm sorry, no, I lied. The first one that died never had its first shed, and it was eating, but it would never shed. And so it basically suffocated because it should have had like 3 sheds already, and it still wasn't shedding, and it just died from suffocation. And then the other one after that, and this is right after Marshall Mendez told me, because I told Marshall, you know, Marshall's one of my Jeep, you know, chondro coaches. I was like, hey, Marshall, dude, I got these things all ate for me. And he's like, oh, congratulations. Prolapse is next. I'm like, what? I was like, why would you say that? I was like, you're full of shit. And then sure enough, dude, the other two went out. The other 2 went out prolapses after like a dozen meals. Like I couldn't believe it.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
So, yeah, it's heartbreaking. So prolapses suck. God bless all the prolapses.
Yeah. I mean, with geckos, like you get stuff that drowns in the egg all the time. Like if the egg's not calcified right, like all kinds of things can happen.
So, I mean, I got to ask you, what's production like right now in that room? Because when I was in there, you had a table tray that was kind of covered full of eggs, and even eggs stacked on top of those. So are things booming out of there right now, or what's going on?
Yeah, I got a couple little hatchling.
Oh, let's check it out. Guys, let's get the likes up for Jess. It's her birthday. Come on, let's get the likes up. Let's go. Show us.
Well, let's see if I can get one out on my hand.
That was sick. That's so cool. It's so tiny. What is it? Like, what's the kind of gecko is it?
It's a crested gecko. So these guys are both, it was red harlequin to red harlequin. So it'll be a red harlequin more than likely.
Wow. And Brian's putting these on his website at some point, or where are a lot of these babies going?
Yep. So those will go to the BHB website. They'll probably be about 3 months before they're up. I'll probably raise them out for 3 or 4 months before they're ready.
Okay.
But yeah, as far as like production goes, it's ramping up right now. It's springtime, so I'm finding a lot more eggs. Actually, when I come in tomorrow, I'm gonna have to dig through like 12 cages to see what I can find.
Right.
I probably got like, I don't know, somewhere around 20 cave gecko eggs like incubating. I have a few lychees, a few chihuahuas, and a bunch of gargoyles.
You know, a lot of people, especially in the snake game, might not know this. But you know, for instance, you get snake eggs, we have an incubator. You got to put them in an incubator because they have to be at certain temps. But the cool thing about these eggs, you actually have them incubating right there in the room, right?
Yep. Just right in here. The temperature can go up and down a little bit as long as it's not like crazy fluctuation into like dangerous zones.
Right.
They're fine. I find babies hatched out in the cages in here all the time too.
That's cool. That is cool.
It is really cool. I'm trying to cut down on that though. So I'm trying to organize how I go through and like, you know, dig for eggs and everything.
Man, I just brought up Brian Waterloo, and he told me a story of one of his buddies, like a few years ago, and they were trying to figure out the lace project and stuff like that. And I guess he walked into the room and he just saw a lace on the wall, like a baby lace, and he was like, "Holy shit!" And like, because I always wondered, I'm like, has anyone ever hatched a monitor like that, where like somehow the egg just stayed where it was and boom, it came out? Because that's interesting. I think
that is super cool.
Yeah.
Actually, the first lychee that we hatched out, I found it in the cage. I was like, oh, they're not laying any eggs. And it turns out she was like laying them up in a pot that I had in there. So
Right.
she had like 3 or 4 clutches sitting in there. And a couple of the babies were just out on the wall one day.
So let's kind of talk about how you have the enclosure set up for basically every single cage in there. Because there's live plants and it's set up where it can hold a lot of water, I'm assuming, right? Let's kind of break that down, the enclosures.
Yeah, so all of them are set up bioactively, meaning they have like the drainage layer, they have the substrate layer and everything, and they also have isopods in there to break down any waste material. Most of the cages have live plants. The lychees tend to destroy the plants, I've found out. So some of them, they might have 1 or 2 live plants in there, but a lot of them I've switched to fake plants, which isn't my favorite, but what are you going to do?
They don't die, at least.
Yeah.
But I do hate about fake plants is when they shit all over them.
Yes, yeah, and the lychees love to do that.
They do. I had some sick-ass fake plants for Hank, and I literally... And if I don't catch it in time, it's like crusted onto there. And I'm like, dude, and I don't have time to scrape shit off your fake plant, buddy. And it's, but anyways, I love it. Because I
might try again with the real plants. I have to get like maybe some bromeliads or bromeliads or whatever they're called. They're a little bit more sturdy leaves on them. So
and then how many times out of the day are you spraying, or is you spraying every other day? How often are they getting sprayed?
So I've got like a little water hidden in each cage. So I don't have to go through and spray every single day. It's not on a mist system in here just because like we have stuff on the mist system upstairs, and it's great for just ease of not having to go in mist, but it does fill up the bottom reservoir pretty quickly to where you have to drain it out a lot. So it's honestly, I have to come in here every day anyway to check what's going on with the geckos, like the lychees that I have paired up, especially, just to make sure they're not fighting or anything like that. So it's a good chance to come in, spray, check everything, and I'll try to do that every day. If not every day, it'll be every other day.
And then as far as the dieting goes, are they just on that powder mixture type diet? And by the way, what do you guys use? Is it Pangea or is it Rapashi, or what is it? What do you guys?
We use Pangea. Every once in a while, we'll switch it up and get another brand. Some people like to switch up the brand pretty frequently. And they say it's like, sort of variety, giving them variety. So we'll do that as like their base meal. I get 2 types. I'll get 1 type with no crickets and 1 type with insects mixed in, and then switch that out every once in a while. And they also get bugs. So like I'll do crickets and stuff on like the smaller ones, the cresties, the Saracenoraums. And then I'll go through and do roaches mainly on the lychees. And the lychees also, I'll do big, once a month I'll do pinkies just to give a little extra calcium and protein.
I kind of want to go back to something I'm glad you brought up, because I have questions for this, because obviously not only with leeches or other gecko species, let's talk about monitor shit, right? Like there's things I just can't, like obviously I'll clean what I could clean, right? But it could get dirty in there. Do you think I could get away with these isopods in like a tree monitor enclosure or in a
Try it, man. Try it, because the monitors aren't gonna like eat them or anything.
Right. How many do I put in there though? I mean, it's a big ass enclosure. What do I do?
I'll send some to you.
Really? Do you have some you can send me? I'll buy some off you.
Yeah,
I'm dead serious.
We actually, someone donated a bunch of them to us last year, so I started breeding them, and we sell them now.
Teach me how to breed them, and I'm down, please. Oh my god,
Dude, they're so easy.
Oh my gosh, I'm down. Okay, so and I can just I just put them on the floor and they just go to work and they live off the shit, or what do they do?
I mean, you have substrate in your cages because they need something to live in. But so as long as you have like a spot that they can get water, like if you just throw some like wet sphagnum moss or something in there, they'll get their water from that, and then they just live in the dirt.
I mean, I spray them.
Now I don't know, like. For you might want to get some bigger ones, though. There are some that are more protein loving that might be better for like a monitor's poop.
Right. Yeah, I need the ones that can handle the big stuff.
Yeah. But you could try it. I don't know how well it would work because they create so much waste, but it's worth a try.
I always loved roly-polies. I mean, if I ended up having them as like, as like a part of the team, that would be so cool.
Yeah, no, they're crazy in here. Like if you go through the lychee cages, like they get into the food a lot of the time, so that's where you'll see them, like in the food bowls when you go to take them out.
Why would there be isopods that are like worth hundreds of dollars? So I'm confused. I think there was something going on at some point. I don't know if that was like just like a
some people I think just like to keep them like as I guess pets. I don't know. Sort of like I don't know.
I can't hate on.
Sort of with you. I don't quite understand like just keeping isopods, but some people like it, I guess.
I mean, there are like $1,000 vacuums out there, so it's like if you want to do that, go ahead. Although I do love my Dyson, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sure some people would think that we're crazy for spending the amount that we do on the animals we do. So,
do you guys have, other than the isopods, you guys have like Dubai roaches that you guys have as well, or like what other insects are you guys breeding?
It's mainly just the isopods. We have a colony of dubia roaches that are breeding, but not because I'm intentionally breeding them, just because they're not getting all fed off every week, so they'll breed eventually.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because here's another thing that is obviously needs to be implemented more with not every monitor species, but man, there's a lot of monitors out there who just primarily live off insects,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
I've definitely tried to like implement that here as well. Like there's with the notorious one's the Savannah monitor that everyone like messes up by feeding it too much meat.
Yeah.
But I definitely have tried to get us to do some more bug feedings with like our Argus monitors and stuff like that.
I have to ask, Jessica, you were around BHB when that shit was full up and blasting going, man. Like we're talking about every rack was still in there and it was just balls.
Man, I think one year there was over 5,000 leopard geckos. It was crazy.
And we're just talking leopard geckos. We're not talking
just
about
leopard geckos,
snakes,
not counting snakes or ball pythons or anything. Yeah.
You've seen so much at that place. How do you feel about BHB downsizing? I mean, does it kind of make you sad a little bit, or do you feel like everything's evolving the way it needs to be? How do you feel about the whole BHB side of things right now?
I mean, I feel like it's going the way it needs to go. I definitely was sad packing up all my leopard geckos and sending them out, but
I bet
had to happen.
It's life, right?
Yeah, I think just the direction that Brian and Lori are heading with the zoo and the aquarium and everything, it makes more sense to downsize that. Which it's still going to be around. It's mainly going to be me taking care of it. So, I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, other than the BHB side of change going on right now, I mean, if we could kind of just sit here and think about some of the best moments you've had at BHB relating to like either an animal project or just like, something that you're you and Brian were maybe hoping to hit at some point? Like, do you have anything crazy that stands out in your head that you'll never forget?
Man, there's just so many different like things that I've experienced working here. I guess some of the most memorable stuff is maybe like opening up the Reptarium. That was like amazing. Didn't ever think that I'd work in a reptile zoo. Definitely a lot of the milestones with breeding, like getting to find the lychee and the enclosure hatched out was super amazing. Hatching my first Chihuahua gecko. The year that we bred like all those leopard geckos was, while it was insane, it was also pretty cool just because like to see the amount of variety in that many animals was really cool.
Right. And you know, I don't know, like I have definitely have things going in my direction where they're kind of like, you know, obviously I will never forget my first ball python clutch, and then I'll never forget my first chondro clutch and super dwarf clutch. But like every new thing that happens, it's like it gets embedded in my brain. Like I'll never forget it. Like it's like I get to relive it every single time.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's why I work with so much different stuff, but like it just really makes me appreciate everything that I have going on. And then also when you have things like think about the things that you've hatched out where, you know, you maybe saw, you would have never thought you were going to be working this close with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or actually starting a legacy somewhere like where you're at right now. Like,
yeah, no, I definitely never thought I would be where I am. So it's super cool. Just getting to work with all the animals that I do.
Now, I mean, can I say something real quick? As far as one thing, I want to say I'm proud of you from what my experience. And I haven't known you for too long, but I've known you for at least a good 3 years, a little more than 3 years, right? You've always been nice to me, and I don't say you haven't been nice to other people, but I've seen you open up a lot more as far as wanting to kind of like be around, like not only people but just camera. Like the way you are on camera now just seems like you're just like, I don't want to say Brian's ever forced you to do it, but you just seem like you're in the good place. You seem like you're in the zone. You seem like you're like in your element. And I want to say, I feel like it's because of the Reptarium. I think because of you kind of being exposed with all those people, because we all admit that reptile people need to have better people skills. We all do.
Yeah, for sure.
All we love is reptiles, but really the reptiles don't speak to us. So we have to kind of balance it, right? So I think your balance with people definitely was the Reptarium, because also people can kind of give you the respect that they want to give you. Because, you know, I've had somebody hit me up saying something like, oh my God, what was it? I followed. Oh, he's like, I've known Jessica I've known Jessica since when she used to never want to be on camera before. And that made me laugh. Like, damn.
There was like a time. Yeah.
So, you know, you understand how much you've evolved just being in the position you're in right now, not only with the animals, but as a person. Like, you know, you're developing awesome skills
I'm glad that, thank you for saying that. It makes me feel good.
Good. Because, you know, everything as far as what's here is temporary, right? And we don't know what the future holds, but you're an important asset to what's happening currently in the reptile industry. And so you should definitely always be told that, you know, you're evolving, because like I said, Jessica, just from I fly there at least twice a year, and dude, everything is just going forward. You know what I mean? And I hate, because I see some people, not even just in person, but just kind of just throughout like what I see, that not moving forward is easy for some people. Some people get stuck, you know, and you can't get stuck in life. I mean, it happens. It's okay to get stuck in life, right? But
right.
You have so much going on around you where you have no choice but to move forward. And I feel like the future's just, I think things are just now getting started for you, Jessica, is what I'm trying to say. So pretty happy for you. Yeah. I do got to say, I have a wrap up question before we get into some hot seat questions. Okay. Your favorite project in that room. I got to say the one that matters. I can't say the most, but like the one that, like, if you're like, holy shit, this would be something where if we did this, Brian would be so happy. You know what I mean? And yourself, obviously, or whatever. Like, just something that's so important to that room as far as priority wise. Which one would that be?
Man, there's a couple things in here, but I truly am hoping that I get these F2 Nuamis to breed. They are so cool. I don't think I could pull one out and show it to you because they're both really good hiders, and she is one that honks at me. So But yeah, I'm super excited about those guys. I'm very also excited about our lily white project. So it'll be lily white plus red. So we should hopefully get some red lilies.
I mean, that lily white is something you hear. Whenever I ask somebody about high-end projects, and stuff like that lily white is something that gets dropped a lot.
It's just a really pretty animal. I'm sure you've seen them. But
oh, I have. No, they're awesome.
So striking.
Yeah. What about this? As far as like the best approach into getting into any kind of gecko species, especially breeding, what would be your advice for that? Like how because like just like ball python people, you know, some have had success going full blown into it and dropping all this money. Some haven't, right? What's your take with that in the gecko game?
Like, are you asking me if someone should like quit their job and do this for a living, or are you asking like just advice for if they just want to breed a couple?
Just like, okay, like we're friends, right? Like we're friends. If I was like, hey Jessica, how do I get into the gargoyle game? Like, what would you would say? Like, meaning like start with this pair or whatever. Like, you know, like just what's a good way into a project, basically?
I would say for a lot of the new cows, excluding the leachies, because you basically have to go single pair with them. You can't mix males around to different females. They don't like it. Is to get a really high-end male, and then you can work around whatever females that. I mean, obviously, the best way would be to like cherry pick the best of the best. But if you don't have the money for that, get the best male you can and get females that are the best quality you can afford and start working those in. And they do really like come forward a lot each generation.
I mean,
they improve each generation, I guess is what I need to say.
Do you have any geckos still in your collection from like way back that like, you know, anything that's been around for a long time? Like what's the longest? I'm just curious the frame on that.
Like here or at home?
At home.
I still have one leechie at home. It's not super old though. I think I just got it in the last couple of years. Like I said, I don't really keep a lot of geckos at home anymore. I have a snake though that I've had for like 10 years at home.
Sick. Well, listen, Jessica, this has been a great time. Thank you for, I know you had a full shift today, right? At work.
Yeah. I just finished up before we started.
So I'm not gonna keep you here for hours. I just was so happy to just catch up with you on this hour and just see how things were going, and want to say I'm always looking forward to seeing you every time I'm at the Reptarium. So just keep doing your thing, man. You're awesome. You're killing it. You have my support. You have many others, thousands and thousands of other people's support. But I do got to say, we had just shy of 70 people tapped in on this lovely Sunday. So what do you have to say to everyone here who was tapped in and everyone who's very pro Jessica?
Well, thanks for watching, guys. And if you want to do a tour with me, feel free. I would love to show off my room some more.
Yeah, and obviously Instagram is the best way to maybe get in contact with you. Yeah. Okay.
I'm never on Facebook, so if you're trying to get a hold of me on there, you're gonna not get a hold of me.
Amen. It ain't gonna work. But listen, have a good night, Jessica. Okay, hopefully I'll see you soon. And that's a wrap for Jessica Saunders. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Bye, Jess. See you later.
Bye.
Hey, we'll talk. Can we talk about the
isopods?
Yes, please. I'll hit you up.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.
I love her. She's awesome. Gotta love, like, you know, that's an asset, right? You understand? You go to a Reptarium, you got so many things that stand out, and seeing somebody who's so evolved with, or not evolved, but somebody who loves reptiles on that level be a part of the Reptarium makes you feel like there are good people at the Reptarium, and there is. But I'm just saying Jessica's is one of those people, but she's just also just down for it, man. Like I'm saying, you got to go to her Instagram. Let me pull that up. Actually, her Instagram is actually in the oh my god, her Instagram is in the description below. Where is it? Hold on, let me pull this up, because I mean, listen, at the end of the day, like, she'll put her hands on anything as far as reptiles go. She's not scared of it. But anyways, here I have it right here. So go hit her up on IG. Let her know MJ sent you. Tell her how amazing this episode was. And if you are going to do that tonight, wish her a happy belated birthday. But yes, Hooks and Things on Instagram. Okay, go check her out. And if you go to the Reptarium, hit her up. See what's up with that tour. Really awesome room. I'm telling you right now, that room is next level. I really enjoy going to that room. Very therapeutic. And I feel like if you're a reptile lover, you'll enjoy it too. Anyways, what a great episode. I want to let you guys know that tomorrow we have things cracking for New Breeder on the Block. I got somebody who, I'm not going to lie, he shouldn't really be on the New Breeder series, but he said some rude comments about how I should power lift more and do less jiu-jitsu, and that kind of made me upset. So I was like, you know what? I'm not giving you Thursday night anymore, buddy. You're getting Monday. I'm just kidding. Not really. But listen, he's coming to the platform, my man. My guys, my man here, Blue Line Morphs, tomorrow, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you go down to the link, set your reminder. It's going to go down. Coolest reptile podcast in the world. I'm not going to lie, guys. I don't have my thumbnail ready for this Thursday because I typically like to announce my Thursday night episode Sunday night, but I don't have my thumbnail ready. I got a lot of things cracking. Listen, I'm back into the rodent game. Bet you guys didn't know that. But yes, I'm back into the rodent game. I have a few colonies I need to go sort out. Thank you to KG. D's cool too, but KG from Bomb Projects for putting your boy on. And thank you for stealing my favorite snake. God, man, this guy just came in and just cleaned, listen, God bless. That snake's in better hands. But guys, Bomb Projects, go give him a follow. And then also don't forget that tonight's episode is brought to you by Doug over at Ridiculous RHACS, #1 in the Lychee game. I feel like he's killing it. Head over to Instagram, give him a follow, Ridiculous RHACS. Tell him MJ sent you. And also, this episode is brought to you by the Reptarium, #1 reptile zoo in the United States, if not the country. Go to the Reptarium. Tell me right now. It's an awesome, awesome experience. And stick by my word when I say tomorrow you'll know. Actually, by tomorrow morning. Okay, especially if you follow the Facebook page, Trap Talk Reptile Podcast. Especially if you follow me on Instagram, Trap Talk God 619. You'll find out who I'm going to bring on Thursday night because I'm doing something cool moving forward. Not every Thursday night, but I think maybe at least one Thursday a month. I'm going to be bringing on who I feel like the top, like a normal heavy hitter, right? I don't want to give you any names because you're going to start putting things together, but like, let's think of one of the most common, okay, Bob Vu, right? Even though it's not Bob Vu, but like Bob Vu with like an up and coming new breeder, right? And we kind of have the new up and coming, and then the up and coming who's already been chilling and killing it. I feel like that would be a good conversation. So I have some of that in the works. I'm just looking for the right matches. So I have some things. Thursday is going to go down, though. My first match on this Thursday is going to be great because we have Canada and we have America. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not giving out any more details. Guys, if you want to get more of what you see here on this show, if you want to get behind the scenes, if you want to get tapped into the Discord with 160 plus trappers, then go to the very first link and join the Trap Talk Patreon family. As soon as you join the Patreon family, you get a link to the Discord, taps you with over 160 trappers, and we have our Trap Talk after party on Zoom going down right now. So if you want to meet me, you want to meet some trappers right now, you want to do the icebreaker on Zoom, then go down to the link. Come join us. Come fuck with us, man. We're sick. Trap Talk Reptile Family, coolest reptile family in the world. All right, guys. See you guys here tomorrow. And thank you, Jessica, so much for hanging out with us. Have a good night, guys.